Welcome back, everyone. This is Heat 2 at Round 8 of the Oregon State Karting Championship Series. So the starting positions for Heat 2 are defined in a little bit of a unique way, so stay with me here, but I'll try to explain. Basically, the positions are determined by inverting the top 8 positions based on qualifying, not the prior heat. So I qualified 5th out of 10. They inverted the top 8, which means that I'm actually starting P4. I actually had to ask the one of the marshals while we were gridding up because I was a little bit confused. But yeah, I think it's kind of a cool way to do it. And then basically the final starting positions are determined on the average of your finishes in Heat 1 and Heat 2. So anyway, starting P4 in Heat 2, this is going to be the same format as Heat 1, 10-minute race, and the Junior 2 class is going to start before us, so there's going to be 2 green flags. So kind of my goals for this session, one of which should have been getting that little speck off the center of the lens. My apologies. But my goal for this race is to, first of all, have a better start. Last heat, I lost 1 position off the grid. So I would like to at least stay even with my starting position through turn 1. And then also just to drive a clean race and kind of stay with the front group. Given the inverted field, I'm sort of starting near the front of the 10 drivers in 4th. So yeah, on the second row for LO206 Senior, just hoping to stay there and minimize my losses to sort of compensate for a rather poor finish in Heat 1. Putting my hand up just to remind myself and others that we are not starting on the first green. There's the green flag for Junior 2. Alright, so we're going to let them get down the road a little bit, and then we're going to see the green flag go up and then drop for Senior 206. Flag is up. Green flag. Again, first couple feet pretty good off the line, but then that kind of 5 to 200 feet, I just can't keep touch, and another driver goes up my inside. So, yep, again, lost 1 position off the start. Wish that it didn't happen, but you know, just an area that I need to work on. All right, as we come through for Lap 1, everybody's close and jockeying for position. It's always an exciting time. As we go into the S's. So one thing to note is I actually did go back to my sort of standard gearing, which was slightly lower than Heat 1. And while it is lap over lap slightly slower than the higher gearing, I felt like I was actually a little bit more racy because I was able to stay close on the exits. As you see Andy go up my outside through turn 1, he is incredibly fast, and I was not surprised to see him there before too many laps got underway. A little bit of an off there for a driver up ahead. Looks like they managed to keep it on the track. Andy goes up the inside here on 69, but is not able to make it stick. That's pretty tricky, and as you see, red helmet there, 638, that's Jeff Lewis. He is the other extremely fast guy making his way through the field. So, starting this race, I knew that those two were going to go through. My race today was really not with them, so I'm really just trying to catch back up to 69 here and see if I could get around. So you can see the exits of the slower corners, a little bit better acceleration, and made me feel like I could stay in touch with the other drivers a little bit better, despite having slightly slower top speed than my other gearing. So Here on the bumper into the S's, have to lift a slight little bit as to not hit her going to those corners. Still struggling a little bit with grip through the S's, make a little contact there. It's so hard to read the driver in front of you and lift off when you need to avoid contact, but also keep your foot in when it's not necessary to lift so that you stay close. Going to turn 1, able to get right back up onto her bumper. Alright, and the field is actually fairly close this race, which was a lot of fun. It's exciting. Definitely in that flow state most of the time. Here 69 is going to take a run on 38X. Yeah, 38 just did not see her peripheral there and turned down on 69. Thankfully everyone was okay. 69 was able to keep it on the track, and that's a little bit of foreshadowing of what's to happen in the future. So here we go. I'm trying to work with 69 here. I thought that maybe we could sort of draft together and get past 38. Not able to make it on this lap through turn 1. Still staying close, and this is what I'm talking about, just feeling a little bit more racy compared to my other gear. Able to stay on the bumper on the exit. You see the driver 69 give a little pat on the helmet to give a push, and that's usually to signal like, hey, let's work together, let's not battle. I would have, I intended to, but I just was not close enough to assist with that run. So I'm going to try to stay here close on 69's bumper so that we can draft through, hopefully down into turn 1. Look to the inside, and I was able to sort of late brake, went for the pass, and able to make it stick. Alright, so now next objective is to get around 38. Myself, 38, and 69 that I just passed, we've been racing quite a bit together this season, and we're all pretty close in speed, so it's been a lot of fun. Here I go to the inside on the S's, and just could not make it stick. If the driver sticks their foot in on the outside, they end up with the inside, and it's pretty hard to stay on the track going around the outside there on that left-hander. A little bit of jockeying for position here. Going to try to look, but I don't quite have enough to get around. Pretty good exit out of turn 1 and turn 2, able to close down that gap again. Again, flat through this right-hander. And then the exit of this corner is so important. Here, I'm able to get a good exit and go around the outside, and unfortunately, yeah. 38, again, just was not paying attention to their peripheral, and turned up on me and crashed me out, and then, a second later crashed Lawrence out on their inside. So, pretty frustrating. I was fully alongside her, and, she just didn't look or didn't hear me there and turned up the track into me. If you actually look at my steering wheel, I'm trying to turn away from her. There's the finish line, because I'm noticing her drifting up, but it wasn't enough. Our wheels touch, and that sort of kind of jumps me up and spins me sideways, and I rolled into the wall. Thankfully, I'm okay, able to get back onto the track, but she still ended up beating me in the race, which is frustrating, and there was no penalties given, even though that was a pretty blatant mistake that impacted 2 drivers. So again, it's unfortunate. I was a little bit bummed with the officiating. I know that they can't see everything, but it's sort of both Heat 1 and Heat 2 drastically impacted by other drivers making some questionable moves, but that's how it goes. Bent my axle, looks like I bent my steering rod, so got to fix those, but I'm able to enter the final race without making too many adjustments. But yeah, again, another unfortunate finish.